It is always a very special pleasure to facilitating a conversation of truly close business partners and even friends. I'm pleased to introduce to you Mr. Chuck Robbins, the Chief Executive Officer of Cisco. Welcome to the Bechtle Competence Days 2021, Chuck.
Michael, thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure to spend time with our friends at Bechtle and look forward to the conversation.
Wonderful. And as I promised to all our viewers, this is about to be a dialogue. And here is Michael Guschlbauer, the host of the Bechtle Competence Days 2021 and the Chief Operating Officer at Bechtle. Welcome, Michael.
Well, hi, Chuck, and thank you for taking your time to talk to us during our Bechtle Competence Days. And we've already met a few times, also in the US and also as you visited us in our headquarters in Neckarsulm. And it was always an inspiring conversation we had. So I'm looking really forward to the next couple of minutes and our conversation during our Bechtle Competence Days.
Well, I am as well, but I'm looking even more forward to visiting you again in Germany right now, because that'll mean we're making progress, and I think that day's coming soon.
Yeah, that would be perfect, yeah.
And the partnership between Bechtle and Cisco is a very special partnership, and all our viewers are very much aware of that. So why don't we spend a moment to talk about what makes this partnership so special? Chuck, may I ask you first?
Partnerships always start with people, and then they require a level of trust. And I think that's what we've established, both with our teams on the ground in Europe and in Germany, and then between Michael and I and the rest of the executive team. We've spent a lot of time together. We have a regular cadence of updates to make sure that we're moving together towards the opportunity that we have and towards meeting the needs of our customers. And so it's really based in trust. And we believe we build great technology, and Bechtle and the team are just incredible at how they deliver these solutions to their customers. So it's just a wonderful partnership.
Yeah, I want to underline what Chuck mentioned before. Cisco and Bechtle stands for a close relationship, a strong community and reliability. And our relationship is a grown partnership from my point of view. Coming from a very small base, a couple of years ago, our relationship has developed during the years to a real success story. And we only received 3 awards from Cisco at the end of last year. And we were particularly pleased about the one. Bechtle is the Cisco Global Enterprise Partner of the Year of 2020, and we are very proud of it.
It's incredible to see that, because I remember when we met in 2018 and we talked about our aspirations together, and you talked about what you wanted to accomplish, and we committed to working together to make this happen. So it was rewarding for me as well to see you win the awards, but particularly that special award. So congratulations to you and the entire team.
It's a real pleasure for us.
And we even have this award here with us in the studio here. So it's a great thing. And congratulations also from my side. And, with your partnership, you are really bringing substantial opportunities to your customers, to your joint customers. Michael, what is your plan? What are the next great opportunities you want to bring to your Bechtle customers here with Cisco technologies?
Yeah, I think there are a lot of opportunities we can talk about it, but I want to point out or highlight one of these opportunities, probably the most relevant opportunity, and the requirements of digitization and the transformation of corporate networks across all industries, all architectures, the campus, the data center, and always the clouds are a big challenge for both of us. And to successfully manage this transformation, you need comprehensive architecture know-how and the ability to have the right specialists from Cisco and from the Bechtle community available at the right time. And the basis for all of this is trust. Trust between the two partners, Bechtle and Cisco, to have these specialists available at the right point, and the right time in front of our customers. So we can build with a joint effort the bridge to the possible.
The bridge to the possible. And I think much of what is possible in the future comes with the evolving internet. And I will certainly take the opportunity, Chuck, to ask you about the future of the internet itself. You know, the fortune of each company and organization is somewhat connected to how the internet will look like in the future. And certainly Cisco technologies are defining this future to a large extent. So I would like to ask you, Chuck, what are your expectations how the internet will look like in the future, in the coming years, maybe over the next decade?
Well, Michael, it's a great question, and you're right. As we see more and more enterprises actually running their networks as virtual enterprise networks on top of the internet in the future, and every customer is in the midst of replatforming and transforming their applications. They're looking at end-to-end security architectures. They're dealing with empowering their employees in this hybrid work world, and they're clearly looking at transforming their infrastructure to make all that happen. And I think those are areas that Cisco and Bechtle together can actually bring unique capabilities, whether we're helping them build a secure cloud on-ramps, whether we're really truly building an end-to-end security platform and helping our customers deal with so many pieces of information that are flying at them from the security architectures. This hybrid work situation is going to require a whole different set of thinking from us. And that's all powered by the application experience, but it is powered by this future internet that we're going to build together. And 5G, Wi-Fi 6, a lot of the new CDN capabilities, and really the performance that is going to be needed, the flexibility. We see a world in the future where we will have so many insights about what's going on the internet, where applications will ultimately be able to dynamically reprovision themselves and move themselves in different paths on the internet. Those are the kinds of things that I'm excited about. And you look at collaboration and the 3D capabilities we can bring, the integration of augmented reality with collaboration. There's so much to be excited about in the future.
Yeah, and a lot of what you're saying, Chuck, is already reflected in the setup of the Bechtle Competence Days 2021. And Michael, unlike previous years, this year at the Bechtle Competence Days, you have put networking and security technologies into one bucket. And I assume this doesn't happen by chance. So why do you believe that your customers need to look at networking and security strategies and technologies as one?
Yeah, it happened for good reasons. So as I mentioned earlier, all of these changes and the increased requirements in security and network infrastructure require a rethink of how we arrange the technologies and the strategies together. And access to data should be possible from anywhere, regardless of whether the data is on premise, in a data center of a managed service provider, or in the cloud. And due to this increased mobility and the large number of devices, including the IoT devices, and there are many devices in the world that communicate via the network, secure network access and transport of the data becoming more and more important. And as a result, security and network are merging. The perimeter is changing, and we need a high degree of automation while maintaining flexibility and agility, and the security at once. That's why we look at network and security technology and strategy as one. And we put it in one bucket.
And Chuck, do you agree that it's imperative for modern technology management in an organization to have that combined look on security and networking?
Yeah, I think Michael said it well. We're moving rapidly away from a centralized physical enterprise where you can protect the physical enterprise. And we're becoming more and more distributed, and the pandemic has even pushed us even more distributed. Applications are becoming more distributed. Your data is more distributed. even application structure themselves. You're going to have distributed components of applications running in different places. So when you think about that, the common denominator across all of that is only going to be the network. So it's imperative for us to bring security and networking together. And then it's also imperative on us to bring together a correlation capability that's taking intelligence out of the network, off the endpoints, out of email, at the cloud edge, and helping our customers correlate those threats to actually make decisions much more quickly and to remediate much more quickly. But the network is the common denominator, and security has to be built deeply in, and that's what our teams are doing, and that's what we're doing with a great partner like Bechtle.
Yeah, and you mentioned the pandemic as an accelerator to many trends, and I wanted to reflect a little bit on the Cisco top 6 tech trends that you've just recently revealed. And what I found in there is one key trend that you outlined, the closing of the digital divide. And I think this is also something that directly, I assume, refers to the pandemic, because right now many people are more disconnected than more connected. So what do you mean with this closing the digital divide, and what is Cisco's adding to that?
Yeah, our purpose as an organization is to power an inclusive future for all. And that's through our technology, because we believe when people are connected, they're exposed to opportunity. And what the pandemic has proven to us is that when we connect people, we can then deliver education, we can deliver healthcare, we can actually bring them into the economy. We now know that we can hire them anywhere and they can work productively remotely. And so the digital divide, I think, is rural areas in all of our countries where people have felt left out of the economic expansion that we've experienced. And the pandemic really highlighted it, because those poorer communities, those who didn't have broadband, those students, as an example, found it very difficult to be productive in school, whereas those who had high-speed broadband, while they may not have liked it, they could actually be productive. And so my view is that every country in the world should be thinking about broadband just like electricity. 50, 60 years ago, we said we have to get electricity to every home. Well, now we need to get high-speed broadband to every home, because that then enables us to do everything that we talked about. And the pandemic has proven that all of those things we can do successfully. And so it's a big imperative for us. And I think it's important across the world. And the more people we bring into the economy, the more GDP we drive on a global basis. I think if we brought on the 3 billion people who don't have broadband today, it's like $6 or $7 trillion in incremental GDP that's created. So it's also good economically.
Absolutely. And, I think, Michael, as fathers, having seen our children having a hard time with, trying to homeschool for a few months, we couldn't agree more about the importance of what you're saying. Yeah. Gentlemen, we need to come to the end of our conversation. And I wanted to refer to the claim of our conference here at the Bechtle Competence Days. And the claim for this year is Time for Future. What do you believe, Chuck, makes this a particular important and positive time for the future of companies and organizations and also individuals?
Yeah, Michael, I think that, look, the last 18 months have been incredibly tragic for all of us, and we're all ready to move to the future first and foremost. I believe that. But also, I think we've learned a lot. And as I was saying, we've learned that people can work in different ways. We've learned that this technology can help us solve really big problems. And so as a global community, I'm hopeful that we can now apply some of the same urgency that we had in dealing with the pandemic to go solve some of the other major problems in the world and in countries around the world. And so I think from that perspective, it'll be brighter. And then as organizations and businesses, I think that, technology was put on display, and every C-suite member in the world has now realized the power of the technology, the value of the technology. So I think the importance of the role technology plays with all of our customers is only going to continue to increase, which is obviously great for all of us. And it's great for our customers as well.
I couldn't agree more. So thank you, Chuck, for taking your time for this inspiring conversation and to talk to our audience in the Bechtle Competence Days. And I'm really looking forward to our joint future in the next couple of years. to manage all these challenges, what the future should bring to us.
Well, thank you for allowing me to be a part of it. And I am looking forward to seeing you in Germany very soon.
Yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen, for taking the time. And I wish you a great day. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, John.